David wrote this when he was in big trouble. Psalms 54 says, "Save me, O God, by your name. Vindicate me with your might. Hear my prayer, O God. Listen to the words of my mouth. Strangers are attacking me. Ruthless men seek my life. Men without regard for God. Surely God is my help. The Lord is the one who sustains me. Let evil recoil on those who slander me. In your faithfulness, destroy them. I will sacrifice a freewill offering to you. I will praise your name, for it is good. For the Lord has delivered me from all my troubles, and my eyes have looked in triumph over my foes." Today's a bonus day, and we're going to talk about Jonathan encouraging David. And just think about where David is. If you read the whole chapter in 1 Samuel 23, it starts out where David does King Saul's job. He goes and he saves this small town of Keilah, and he defeats the Philistines, even though he's outnumbered, even though his men don't really want to go. And as he rescues these people, Saul hears about it, and Saul comes marching to take out David. You see, Saul wouldn't save the town from the Philistines, but he'll go to that town to kill one of his enemies, David. It shows you how far Saul has fallen. And David inquires of God, and he says, "Will the people here betray me? The people that I just rescued, the people that I just risked my life for." And God says, "Yes, they will. You need to run away." And so David has to swallow his pride, and he has to flee. And while he is running away and in the wilderness, King Saul can't find him. But somehow his son Jonathan does. And the Bible says that Jonathan came, he found David at Horesh and helped him find strength in God. Some versions say he strengthened David's hand in God. And if you read through the Psalms, there's so many verses where it talks about how David says, "Lord, grab my hand and lift me up," or "hold me in your hand." And you have this image of a little kid holding dad's hand. And my daughter's 5, and I just love it when she wants to hold my hand when we're walking in a store. Or last night we were going for a walk down our driveway, and she just wanted to hold my hand. It just felt so good. Now there's times when Libby's holding my hand and she is pulling away from me, and I'm like holding her because we're in a parking lot and I'm trying to keep her safe. Or other times she wants to run away and I'm like, no, stay here with me. And many times, especially when she's safe, I let go. But when she just grabs my hand, it just makes me feel so good. And what Jonathan was doing here, he was trying to strengthen David's hand in God. He was trying to encourage him to hey, hang on to God's hand. You've just been betrayed, or we're going to be betrayed by the people you saved. King Saul, who's supposed to be your mentor, is actively trying to destroy you. And Jonathan gives David a super cool thing. He says, "Don't be afraid. My father Saul will not lay a hand on you. You will be king over Israel, and I will be second to you. Even my father Saul knows this." There's 3 things I want to point out to you from this encouragement that Jonathan gives. First, Jonathan points to God and says, God will protect you. He says, don't be afraid. God will protect you. Saul will not lay a hand on you. God will protect you. It doesn't matter who betrays you. It doesn't matter how big the army is that's coming against you. It doesn't matter that you just made the Philistines mad and they hate you too. God will protect you. So that's the first message. God will protect you. The second one says, you will be king over Israel. He's saying God will fulfill his promise to you. Not only is God going to protect you, but his promise is going to come true. You see, this is how Jonathan is strengthening David's heart in God, strengthening David's hand in God. He says God will protect you, and then he says God will fulfill his promise to you. And then he says, and I will partner with you when that happens. He says, right now, I can't protect you from my father. I've been kicked out of the throne room. He's been throwing spears at me too. He says, I can't save you, but when God puts you on the throne, I will not lay claim to that throne. I will be there and I will help God fulfill his will through you. So how do we strengthen people's hands? Many times when we come across someone who's very discouraged and struggling, we want to agree with them and tell them, yeah, well, that wasn't fair. I can't believe they said that to you. Oh man, your life is so hard. And we increase their victim mentality. And that is not a healthy thing for us to do or for them to hear. What we need to do is be like Jonathan, who reminds his friend that God will protect you, that God will fulfill his promise with you, and that I will be here to partner with you and help you. You see, the story of Jonathan is so amazing because right after this, David is again betrayed by a group of people called the Ziphites. And we have the Kelites and the Ziphites betray David. But right in the middle, God uses one good man to come and encourage his servant, to say, hey, the promise is going to be fulfilled. God is going to protect you. And you've got a good man who's going to partner with you and help you out. You see, so many times we think in our lives that we're the main characters. You know, I read the story of David and I want to identify with David. I want to be like David. And Jonathan is a secondary character. He's not a main character. But you are that secondary character in so many other people's stories. And you can be a person like the Ziphites or the Kelites who betray someone, who kick them when they're down, who take advantage of them to try to win favor with someone who's in charge. Or you can choose to be Jonathan in someone's life. You can be that person who strengthens their hand in God, who reminds them that God will protect you, that God will fulfill his promises to you, and that I will be here to partner with you. I will help you. I believe that our world is getting ready to fall into a dark time. And when we're in that dark time, I just want you to remember this message from this morning. God is calling you to be a Jonathan. When it looks like everything is falling apart, God is still in control. When it looks like everything is in darkness, God is still the light. So point people to God when they're discouraged. Don't tell them why things are happening, and don't try to explain the cancer away or explain the divorce. Just say, hey, look at God. He will protect you. He will fulfill his promises to you. And I'm here to partner with you. This is how we can help people truly believe that God has got this. God bless.